Welcome back, YouTubers. In this video we're gonna be talking about one of my favorite everyday carry knife. This one is made by the company named Cold Steel. This is the model Recon one. This is a very common everyday carry knife that is used extensively by a lot of law enforcement officers when they take pictures on the media, on your local news channel. You will always spot one of the Cold Steel knife. A lot of law enforcement officers, they love Cold Steel. There are several models that are known to them. This is one of them. Militaries, they also use the Recon one knife in order to make holes on their final fire positions. The snipers, other people just making a hole to take a look at their adversaries. And it's also well known used by the firefighters in order to cut ropes or open windows or something. This is a very sturdy knife. It's very known. It is very well known in the uniform community, as also by the rescue crews. I personally mostly use it as an alternative of the so many that I have in my everyday carry collections. I mostly use mostly for opening box, for cutting zip ties, for loosening a window. When I was cleaning the window in the house, sometimes they get a little bit stuck and then a little bit of prying force on it, and that's pretty much what I use my everyday carry knife. Worst case scenario, yes, I will use it for personal defense, but that's worst case scenario. I would always avoid getting in a corner situation. The benefits of carrying a knife for personal protection, personal defense, is that they do not run out of bullets. They never run out of ammunition. They make no noise, so things are kept very confined. A knife is something that won't cause over penetration compared to using a firearm. Generally speaking, knives are a lot lighter and more permissible than handguns all over the world, or even tasers. Even though they need certain lubrication, I like to lubricate them once a year. Even though I may have not used them at all, I always go in the hinge mechanism and I drop a couple of oil drops over there just to keep it lubricated and prevent them from getting rusted. When you compare them also to the tasers, you don't have to be worried about if you have to check the battery life once a year, replacing or something. This is something that is going to be there for you as long as you do the proper maintenance. It doesn't need a lot of maintenance, just cleaning and lubrication, depending on your use and your environment and your occupation. The specification on this knife, the Recon one, the blade, this one is the 4 inches length. They also make a 2 length. For me, I will never carry a 2 inches blade length. That's a joke. Plus this long handle that looks like completely out of space. I recommend the 4 inches one. They have the Tanto. This is the shape of the blade. This one, they also have a drop point, which is the most common used for hunters. And they also have the spear one. The Tanto, it is not the sturdiest one, but it's it's the best one for slashing and for spearing, for going in through, because of a cultural difference. Where I grew up, my family, they are farmers, and I grew up butchering pigs, and I guarantee you, every time I have to take a pig or something, a pig, I always prefer a Tanto knife or daggers in order to take the animals without causing any pain. And definitely this is like an injection. It's not like your regular drop point, which is more traumatic for the animal. This is like no resistance, it will go through, and when you're cutting through tendon, this over here, you got more leverage. It's a lot easier to cut, to butcher. That's from my butcher experience back in the days, many years ago, when I grew up in a farm and all that. That was just my background as a child, teenager growing up. The weight in this knife, it is a 5.2 ounces. The thickness of the blade is a 3.5 millimeter. This is not a tiny symbolic blade. This is kind of beefy. This is not a tiny, flimsy knife. This is well known used by the militaries. You can pry with it. You can trust your life to this one. It is really strong, really well made. It's something that I would highly recommend to people who are serious about owning their, and it has value, trading value. Some people, they put on the comment that they were quite priced, but this has a lot of trading value. I'm sure you can trade it for a couple of valuable things as well. The overall length is going to be a 9 3/8 inches, 9 inches and 3/8. This is not a tiny knife. You have to be concerned about your laws and regulation on your state, country. area because this is a 4-inch. I believe the legal one in the United States is 3 1/4 of an inch. This is 4. Yes, you might have to have a concealed carry in order to carry this one everywhere you go. The blade edge, I would always recommend the plain edge. I will never recommend any of my followers to buy any of the serrated version. The 3 blades, the Tanto, the drop point, and the spear, they all make them with the serrated. I do not recommend those. They're really a pain in the lower back to sharpen them. Once they go dull from normal use and abuse, they will just go, it's just harder to sharpen the serrated blade when compared to regular plain edge like this one. The colors that I've seen them online available, the black, I didn't see any olive green, which that would have been my #1 choice, but it is what it is. They have the flat dark earth peanut butter. I saw one that it was in a orange color for people who buy them for camping purposes. So if you drop them, you don't lose them. They also, on the Cold Steel website, they allow you to personalize your knife in order to put sort of designs and names, you name it. On the back, you can tell that has a lanyard for people who like to use them for hunting purposes. They use a lanyard over there, paracord 550, a tiny ones, and you secure it to your belt or whatever makes you happy. One of the things that you have to keep in mind that the clip, they really designed this to the clip all the way to the top. So when you put it on your pocket, this might look like it's just a pen when it is a knife. Some other knife that I see out there, the clip they put in over here, like on the middle of the handle, and people can see, yes, you are carrying a knife in the middle of everybody. That can make people feel uncomfortable. I always try to pick them with the clip on the top. Make sure when you buy your Cold Steel, after you take them out of the box, this is just the box, I'll just throw them away. I'm not good at keeping boxes. You never throw this one away. This makes you can attach it to the opposite side. This is for right-handed. You can attach it to the left side, so you will be able to put it on your left pocket if you are a left-handed person. One of the sales points for the knife is that it's the so-called triad locking mechanism. Once you lock it, you don't have any risk of pressing over here and it's gonna pull back and cut yourself. You have to press the release or safety mechanism in order for the blade to come back and fold in. This is kind of stiff, it's a new one, eventually it's gonna break in. The handle, it is made of a G10. It's designed for use and abuse. You can scratch it, use it. I throw a previous one that I had years ago at a squirrel that was chewing on my, the screen of my pool, but I didn't hit it, I missed it anyway. And it didn't break it and anything. Is just, they take a lot of abuse. This is a G10 handle. It's known for use for military purposes. What I like about the design is it doesn't have any sharp edges. Once you put it in your pocket, it's not gonna be clingy, it's not gonna be snagging onto anything. Remember, you can reverse this one, don't throw it away as I was about to do. I would almost throw this piece away because I thought it was just junk. Something to consider when you buy your everyday carry knife is that make sure you buy never choose any of those bright or noticeable color for everyday carry, defense, or military purpose because of their visibility. If a criminal is about to mug you, carjack you, assault you or anything, the moment they see a knife, they have two options. They will escalate the fight. They might draw a weapon on a firearm on you, or they might touch the situation. I prefer not to show that I'm capable of defending myself. I prefer not to show that I will have the advantage in a defensive situation. I know some people, they go crazy about mostly women. They have a tendency to go for the teal, for the light, for the pinky, for the yellow. That just doesn't play out well by these kind of contexts. Defensive, everyday carry is just not the right choice. As always, it is your duty and your responsibility to verify the legal aspects regarding owning a knife on your country, your state, your province, wherever you are watching these videos all over the world, in order to avoid ending in jail for collecting, carrying, as well as just using your knife in personal defense. Some countries, I don't know what they expect from people, how countries expect law-abiding citizens to defend themselves from criminals, because you cannot send them through the mail, you cannot send them through the Airlines is just, I don't know what they expect people to defend themselves, because there is always going to be criminals, regardless. That just because you are a law-abiding citizen, just because you are a drama avoiding person, it doesn't mean the rest of the world. There is evil out there. You have to be prepared for those people. It's not going to happen every day, but it might happen. Just, the thought, don't be the naive kind of person out there. Knife, as I explained before, they're an alternative to firearm, mostly more flexible to own all over the world. For personal defense, these one are for daily tasks. I show several options on my knife playlist. If you go on my YouTube channel, take a look at all the rest that I try to endorse and I recommend to people, because I have seen people using them very frequently, or because I've experienced or I own a few of those. Tell me which one is the favorite, the one you have on your everyday carry, which one you might prefer of all the ones mentioned on my playlist. Tell me if you are a pro serration on your blade, or you just don't care, or you just prefer the plain blade as I do. Don't forget about the side adjustment. Don't throw this away. This is something that I almost did. As always, thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share among friends who are into firearms, safety, everyday carry, hunting, and you all have a great time. God bless you all.